Well, today I won the bid on a John Deere 5010 engine. It's going to be going into my John Deere 5020 tractor. It's the same engine. So I have to go to Fayetteville, Georgia to pick it up. The problem is I live in New Jersey. Now, it's like 1,200 miles to go get that. I was going to use my heavy-duty truck. I have a 99 550, which is right over there. Pretty cool truck, works alright. But it's a pig. It drinks more fuel than it's worth to do a job like that. So I have a 97 F150 here, and I'm going to use that to go get it because it's just a little easier on fuel. Problem is, it needs new brake lines. And you can see them down in here. They're not exactly the easiest things to get to. Well, they're not too bad. I've had worse jobs, but I'd like to replace them all because they're all in pretty bad shape. I was down to my local store, auto parts store, and I picked up all new brake lines. I got some pre-made ones, and I've got ones that I have to make. I have my double flare tool I've had for many years. Works alright. I haven't used it in a while, but it's not too hard to use. It's a little different than a regular flare tool. And let's see what I've got in here. I got some brake cleaner and a whole bunch of ends, plus a new seal for the front of the rear end where the pinion goes into. So that's what we're going to be working on. What I'll do is I'll start tearing old lines out, take a couple of videos of that, and then we'll start to put it back together again. I don't think I'm going to be making all the bends in the new line like they have in the old one, because there's some really crazy bends in there. So anyhow, I'm going to get started with that right now. Well, I got one of the short ones out, and I mean, it took me about 5 minutes. Now, can you tell me what the idea is in making all these crazy curvy bends in it? I don't know. It's got some kind of coil around it that is what actually caused them to rust out, because it just holds the moisture in there and dirt and causes all this rust. I don't know if you can see that. It was pretty bad. But I guess I'm going to have to make this one up. I think the ends are okay, so I can reuse them. I've got new ones, but these broke free pretty easy, so I'll bend a new one. Another thing I need to tell you is, if you're going to do your brake lines, there's two different grades of this crap. You got your cheap old ready-made. Comes in a nice handy dandy little piece that looks like this. Got both ends on it. And these are 3/16 by 20 inches. Thought they'd be alright. When I went to put them in, of course, the ends are a little different size. The ready-made ones are smaller. And so what I did was I figured I'd cut that off of there. Take the ready-made ends off of there and put the right ones on. The problem is, when you go to clamp the double flare tool over top of it, and you put some pressure on there, this slides inside the jaws. So what I did was I bought the good stuff. It's green. Get some kind of paint on it so that they don't rust out as fast, and they have a heavier wall to it. Problem is, you got to cut them in double flare each one. So I figured I'd show you that if you're going to do this job and you need to cut these pieces, don't buy the ready-made ones and expect the jaws of your double flare tool to hold it, because they're not going to. I've tried 2 or 3 things and I just can't get it to hold. So I'm just going to cut the end back off of there to get my my fittings back off of this tube. And I guess I made a piece of junk out of this. Anyways, I bought 25 feet of the good stuff anyway. The good, I think it's 85 cents a foot. It's really not that expensive, but they tell me that it won't rust. So, which is a plus. So I don't have to do this again. So anyways, I'm going to remake the ends, and we'll get that piece back in there.